Welcome to Field Sports Britain. Coming up, it's a big programme for the birds. I'm here partridge shooting in the north of Scotland. We've got our regulars New Stump, Hunting YouTube and Hello Charlie. First, Mud Mud, Glorious Mud, we're wildfowling with Mark Gilchrist.
We're going out to Burntwick Island to shoot some ducks. I've got a rucksack full of decoys, I've got some water, some tissues, steel cartridges, got Dawn the dog, I've got my old favourite Maggie who's coming out of retirement just to show everyone she can still do it. I've got Owen Piper who is one of the farmers who I shoot a lot of rabbits for, and you, which I'm really excited about. It's a lot deeper than you think it is, isn't it? Right, that's Dawn. Right, Finbar, there's two dogs here. Whose are they? Steve! You're going to have to call your dog or she's going to follow us all the way up to the Queen seat. Nathan, is that your thing running around? Yeah. Right. Well, it must be there, Finbar, because it's a corner.
Before we get set up with decoys and hides, Mark wants Owen to sit tight for the morning flight.
Well, it's not actually a morning flight, it's a tide flight. The tide's already pushing the birds off the mud. The problem with the teal is they're quite often below the height of the creek, so that's why I've got my head below the salting top height, if you see what I mean. Owen, coming down the creek. Sit down, a pair of you. Good job one of us can shoot. It's all right, it'll come out in the edit. It's not going anywhere, it's stone dead.
Silly question, David. How do you get them back?
David, we have thought of these things. They're all on a line, so you put a weight out here and then you run the string back. What we don't ever want to do is let them get as tangled as this, because then you look really unprofessional. What you do if you're a serious wildfowler is get the whole lot out before the season starts, specifically so you avoid this situation. I'm a baboon and I haven't done it. Where was your teal, Owen? Back in here? Go on, get on, get on. Come on, come on. Put your here. Good girl. Dad. Good girl. You could have got that earlier, couldn't you? But like me, you've just got too fat, haven't you? Another widgeon?
It is a magical place out here with docks and power stations surrounding us. There's a calmness, however that's because the weather is being kind, for now.
I just won't see you like that. You go and we just hang some stuff across the front. The bigger duck, the widgeon and the mallard and the pintail will almost certainly follow the creeks. They don't like going over the mud.
In the hide, the Mossberg pump action from York guns and the dogs are pretending they're not here. The Mossberg is still Mark's tool of choice and is performing well, despite abuse. The hounds are vital on a day like today, especially when Owen shoots like this.
Oh, that really was a good right and left. Go on, dogs.
And as Mark suggests, if you want an example of steel being a capable substitute for lead over water, there you go.
There's a chap who comes out here, who I don't think's been on the Field Sports channel. It might have been some time ago. And when the ban came in, he started using steel, and he now uses steel for everything. And he you know, kills very long birds very, very cleanly. So people that say steel isn't as good, I just don't believe them. I think it's harder to get. I think it makes it harder if you're not a very good shot. But I think if you're a decent shot, steel doesn't make any difference at all. It doesn't bode very well for me, does it? You're right there, little dog, so you're upset that you're in a little nest. You don't want to be in a little nest, do you? Yes, but the problem is you move her head around, don't you? Sausage.
The birds are wild and unpredictable. The incoming tide should lift them off the mud in search of new feeding grounds. Plus, there's a partridge shoot going on a bit further along the estuary. Mark is hoping that might stir things up a bit.
Pardon?
The one thing Mark has forgotten is his sens.
What did you say?
He left them back in Ireland, which is a shame because being able to hear
That
wing
really was
beats
a good
is
shot.
vital. Once you're here, and there's no going back for extra cartridges or a cappuccino. So here are a few tips from Mark about the essentials.
Got to be a bit sensible. So when you're walking out here, take your jacket off. If so many people walk all the way out here with all the clothes on, you get really hot and sweaty. Then you cool down and you're wet, and you're cold for the whole day. Always have a set of warm clothes in the car, so if you do get cold and wet, when you get back to the car, you can put some warm, dry clothes on. What Crow does, which a lot of other people do, which I think is quite clever, is they just put, the rubber gloves you put on your hands for galloping deer and gutting rabbits. They use those, and it just takes, keeps your hands dry. You can take them off. Decent woolly hat, decent jacket. Knots. Are they knots? Yes, they're knots.
There is definitely plenty of downtime as the tide rises. When the birds come, it's exciting.
I thought we'd get more like that today, but they haven't really played the game. And in a funny way, they haven't, I wouldn't mind so much if they were coming along looking like they were going to come in and then flaring off because they'd seen us or seen the camera or didn't like the decoys, but they're just sort of not even interested in this area, which is odd. I mean, it's normally it's called the King's Seat because it's the best spot, or one of the best spots.
Both Mark and Owen do well when the birds are in range. So far we've got widgeon and teal, so what's the difference?
You have a widgeon and you have a teal. That's female teal. That's female widgeon. As you get later in the year, the colours become sort of much clearer. The male's got quite a nice red head with a white line on it. You can always tell the teal because their wings beat incredibly fast, and a teal's wings, when it flies, goes all the way up and all the way down. And the widgeon is sort of more of a streamlined chap. He doesn't quite go all the way up, and he goes quite a long way down. You're much better off trying to differentiate birds, not by the feathers, but by the shape of the bird and what their wings are doing as a shape, and then you'll be able to tell them, go back, where is it, Mag? Apart, a lot further away and in the dark. So, go back, that's much better to go on than feathers.
With the tide at its highest, we give it another hour before wrapping things up.
Get over.
It has been an exceptional morning, and we feel privileged to have been given access to such an unusual and wonderful place. The bag is 40 widgeon, 30 teal and 1 gadwall, and there's no chance we're going to be able to cook them here. So what would Mark do with these duck to make the most of them?
I don't need hanging at all. I just leave them to go overnight just to cool down. Rigor mortis set in, and yeah, go from there really. I want to serve them pink. You can either sort of pluck them and take the breasts off. I think it's worth plucking them because the skin's obviously got quite a lot of fat and quite a lot of flavour into it. And pan fry them. I mean, I'd give the teal breast don't want very long at all because, you know, they're very small.
It would be a shame not to do them justice given how hard we've worked for them. On the journey, it's an opportunity to talk through the morning's sport and get some rest. Wildfowling can be hardcore, but the rewards are worth it. A good day in the mud there with Mark, and if you want to see more wildfowling, including the shot of a lifetime by a young Scot, click on the screen that's appeared up there behind me. David says he's still getting the silt out of the camera eyepiece. Talking of David, it is him on the Field Sports Channel News Stump.
This is Field Sports Channel News. Dulverton in southwest England has played host to the 10th World Bolving Contest, where participants bolve or roar at stags in the hope that they roar back. There were nearly 50 contestants, but the stags were a long way up the valley and didn't bolve back very much. The competition was won by Rob Follett from Withycombe in Devon, who was among the competitors who got a response call from the stags. All money raised will be given to the Devon Air Ambulance Trust. Staying in the West Country, and hill farmers from Devon and Cornwall have joined the call by Welsh farmers to relax the ban on hunting with hounds in the UK. According to the BBC, they say that hounds are the best way to control problem foxes. Islamabad in Pakistan has a big wild pig problem, and there's not a lot they can do about it. It's banned hunting because hunters could be mistaken as terrorists by local security personnel, and because terrorists could disguise themselves as hunters. As a result, wild boar have taken over the streets of Islamabad, making it unsafe to walk around many areas. These pictures from local TV news show a man who was attacked by a boar. Aerial photographs have revealed that British footballer John Terry has built his new Surrey mansion complete with a fishing lake. Hardly surprising, the Chelsea captain is a keen carp angler. The carcasses of two giant oarfish have been found off the coast of California. One of them was nearly 18 foot long, but apparently it's a tiddler. These fish live up to 3,000 feet underwater and can grow to more than 50 foot long. Now here's a story about a dirt bike rider who has a love-hate relationship with a ram. New Zealand biker Bud Hans had a YouTube hit when he uploaded a video of a ram attacking him head-on during a ride. Following requests from YouTube users, he strapped a GoPro camera to the nasty old ram to get a different perspective. The animal lives up to its name and repeatedly rams a biker. A true wolf in sheep's clothing. And finally, here's a shocking tale. This fisherman survives a close call with a lightning strike, and it goes to show why you shouldn't be out on the water during a thunderstorm. Paul Ragsdale uploaded this video to YouTube of professional angler Tucker Owings' close encounter with lightning on Lake Athens in Texas. You are now up to date with Field Sports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David, trawling the depths there. Now, what have you lot been up to this week? It is Hello Charlie. Here's what the world's up to this week.
Hello Charlie, Steve, my daughter Charlie and Winch. We're on a Wiltshire pig farm shooting some crows.
Hi Charlie, it's Connor, greetings from Switzerland on a driven hunt today. So far I've bagged a nice obuck, just waiting for the other critters to show.
Hello Charlie, this is Andrew in Vancouver, Canada, enjoying a successful start to duck season.
Hello Charlie, it's Hugh and Harry, and we just had a great day on the Corvids.
Send us your own Hello Charlie. Film yourself on your mobile phone, just a sentence saying Hello Charlie, who you are and what you're up to. Then share it or email it via YouTube, Facebook, Dropbox, or you send it, you name it, to charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, please keep them coming. Now, I'm in the Highlands of Scotland. The heather is thick on the ground, so obviously we're going partridge shooting. Lots of strange things about today. Don't let the heather fool you. This is a partridge day, not a grouse day. Don't let the tweed confuse you. These guys aren't peers of the realm. They are Texans. We're in for a 250 bird day and some of the most spectacular scenery in the Central Highlands. And it is all put together by one of the most laid-back lairds in Scotland, Ali Findlay.
We've mixed terrain here. We've got some high river banks over the River Spey. We also have more on the moorland, so hopefully we'll have a nice mixed day of different types of birds, you know, high birds as well as more like sort of almost driven grouse type drives.
Have you been here for years?
My family came here in the 1960s. My mother bought it on the idea that my father would like a grouse moor to entertain his friends on, so thought it would be a good idea to buy a Highland estate. And she retired about 10 years ago, and I took over then. And so I've been here running it, and we've been developing it over the last 10 years.
The beaters and picker-uppers turn up promptly. Among them is the irascible Colonel. Ali comes over to warn me about the Colonel, but he's too late.
Very nice footwear, Colonel.
No, that's because I've got gout. You bloody well know that.
Nice footwear.
I'm bloody lucky to get.
Why didn't you
They're revolting.
Why didn't you have a hoodie top on?
They're revolting.
You must go see the guests.
They're bloody guests on here.
The guns arrive and Ali does his job explaining where to shoot and whom to miss.
Just keep it safe, you know. Make sure also when you shoot behind.
Now, one of our jobs today is to showcase a great British cartridge. We want to show that Hull Cartridge's Imperial game is ideal for a driven partridge day. Think of this as a bit like a Fairy Liquid commercial where we ask happy shoppers, or in this case happy shooters, to take the taste test, or whatever it is. When it comes to cartridges, these guys have been putting up with an inferior Scottish brand on this trip, coloured blue. Like the colour of the British Empire on the map, Imperial game are red, and isn't that the breakfast of champions?
It was tougher shooting than before, but the cartridges worked great. Found to be excellent.
Do you do shooting like this in the States?
Pheasant and quail.
Driven like this?
Not driven, no. We generally work dogs and work fields, and so it's a different type of shoot as far as the birds getting up and versus the birds coming over the hillsides like that where you're shooting up, which is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
You put in the hours?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, the first drive on a partridge day is tricky, especially when you're used to walking up Chucker. Happily, the Americans are warming up to their roles, both shooting partridges and shooting a line about cartridges.
One of the finer shells I've ever shot.
They knock them dead.
Imperial cartridges.
Ali Findlay is not helping. Finally, I get someone to say what they really think about the Imperial game. So you gave these Hull cartridges a go. Was there any difference?
I think a little bit. It seemed to be a little tighter pattern, maybe. It could get the higher birds with the Hull cartridges.
It was the most testing drive that you got the cartridges to use?
Probably, yes. Very good, yeah.
There, one of our former colonial subjects endorsing an Imperial product. No need to scatter any tea about any harbour. Hull makes the right cartridges for visiting Americans to shoot straight. Meanwhile, the shooting is going well. The first 3 drives are low ground. There are times when the birds pour off the hillside, and you begin to understand why the most popular gun brand in the USA is called Browning. Still, the bag is mounting, and the pickers up, including the Colonel, are hard at it. By the halfway mark, when we drive onto moorland to stop for soup and a sharpener, the R'lyeh gamekeeper gives his mid-match report.
Happy boys. Yeah, it's all going fine. Yeah, we're the bag's just tickling along nicely as well, so it's all good so far. Yeah.
For the kind of casual onlooker looking at this, they'd think heather, surely grouse. So how does that work?
This moor, there's heather here, but it bad effectively with ticks years ago, and so the grouse declined about maybe 30 years ago, and they've never really come back. So this shoot was established instead, and we're just driving partridges off the low heather.
On the last couple of drives, we move back to farmland. The magnificent autumn colours here, the birds framed against the dramatic skyline of Scottish hills. It's a lot more to look at than a south of England partridge shoot.
In the States, for the most part, we shoot rising birds, walk-up rising birds. So anytime you've got birds coming straight toward you, it's a totally different game, and we really enjoy it.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, Lucky, why would you put these poor Americans through this? It seems to be a fair time.
Because it's very good for them, Charlie. It's a learning curve they need to have. No, these guys enjoy this. It's something they don't get to do at home, and it's also managing. They've come a long way to get a considerable amount of shooting in a relatively short period of time.
Good.
So it shows them a lot of sport in a relatively short time. That's a real plus point.
Everybody happy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, delighted. Yeah.
Lackey has to drive this lot off for a bit of retail therapy at House of Brewer nearby. Before he goes, let's have a ringing endorsement from the Americans about which is their favourite British cartridge company. Which one, gentlemen?
Hull Cartridge!
There you have it, Hull Cartridge. 8 out of 10 partridge who expressed a preference said they like to be shot with Hull Cartridge Imperial game. A clean kill every time you knock 'em on the beak. For more about Hull Cartridge, visit hullcartridge.co.uk, and if you want to go shooting at Relia, email Lackey, ls@highlandsporting.com. Well, it really has been a glorious day here. I got it completely wrong. It is partridge country. We've had a fabulous time here at the Relia Estate. The website is appearing on the screen in front of me now. For the map that matters, it is calendar.
Welcome to this week's calendar in association with BASC, with dates for your diary, smartphone, tablet and Filofax. First off, the Red Rut is underway across the country. Staying on deer, it's the closing day for roebuck in England and Wales on the 31st of October 2013. And the following day, it's the opening day for red and Sika hinds, roe and fallow does and Chinese water deer in England, Wales, and for the larger of those species, in Northern Ireland. What's the weather up to? There have been some dire prognostications recently, including threats of a big freeze from the BBC, unseasonably warm weather from the newspapers, and Charlie's daughter Alice's friend, Met Office Millie, aged 12, is predicting snow. Well, the word from the Air Ministry roof, as reported on Field Sports Channel, is that for the next week we are going to get exactly what we've been getting: unsettled weather. According to the boffins, the woodcock are massing on the continental coast, standing by to come over to the UK. Usually during the November full moons, especially the 2nd. But if Europe gets a cold snap, it could be earlier, as they race ahead of the frost in search of winter feeding. Moon was full at the weekend and is now waning to a last quarter in the small hours of Sunday, the 27th of October 2013. Now let's look at some of the events you can enjoy if you're not out hunting, shooting or fishing this week. If you're in Cornwall this weekend, the 26th to 27th of October, Country Sports Southwest and Shooting for England are holding airgun have-a-go days with Olympic shooter Gorgs Geeky at St Austell Rifle Club in Cornwall. On Sunday, BASC has a taste of game venison in a day course at the School of Artisan Food in Welbeck, Nottinghamshire. The Countryside Alliance will again be promoting Hunting Newcomers Week starting on Monday the 28th of October to the 3rd of November as part of its campaign for hunting. If you've ever fancied trying out fox hunting, stag hunting or other hound sports, now's the time to give it a go. There are Young Shots Days on Tuesday the 29th of October in Cambridgeshire and in Hampshire. The Shotgun and Chelsea Bun Club is holding a 150 bird day in Berkshire next Wednesday the 30th of October. And for more information, please go to the BASC website and click on the Events tab.
With that sorted, let's see what's happening in the rest of the world. It's Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting, shooting and fishing videos that YouTube has to offer. Now, a lot of you like our little spot on slow-mo in last week's show. Hashtag Nicky Truter tweets us to tell us about the iPhone slow-mo function here in use on his own YouTube channel, Shooting Clay Pigeons. Others point out that master of the slow-mo camera is Edgun USA. Oh, Edgun USA again. But he is the Ed of Guns USA or otherwise, so here is his latest slow-mo film, which is unlisted to prevent unwarranted attention from antis. Here is the same kind of thing as that damn American film, but from a British channel. As you can see, rather like the difference between the UK and the US space programme, not quite so good. But if you're interested in 2.0 airgun ammunition, give it a watch anyway. Francis Mellish uses Facebook to send me a link to Frontside Fly Fishing's sweet film about trout in New Zealand called You Won't See Me. Not a lot of fish caught, but the footage is fabulous. Thanks, Francis. One of the good things about news networks doing stories about hunting, shooting and fishing is they expect no knowledge from the viewer. So for me, this piece by Fox 10 News in the USA is the ideal way to learn about bow hunting fish. PN Hunting Video Production brings us the unusual sport of deer fishing. No, what's happened is this white fallow has got tangled up in some wire fencing and the hunters are trying to free him. For some, this is everything that's wrong with hog hunting worldwide. For others, it will be a super expo of tactical weapons used in real hunting situations. Hog hunting with DRT ammo and devastating terminal ballistics shows a 200-yard shot taken with an M&P 15 equipped with Night Optics USA D50 night vision scope. And finally, another tactical channel out hunting recently is the remarkably named Vigilant Spectre Operations, who points out in his bow kill on Wild Turkey Welcome to the 10% film that you have less than a 10% rate of success if you are a turkey bow hunter. You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, if you enjoyed that lot, why not try Schools Challenge TV? This week, nobody can say that the Schools Challenge doesn't look after its sponsors. Several times a year they get the call up to come to the Oxford Gun Company for a day of fun clay shooting and shoulder rubbing. And the Schools Challenge regulars are on hand to make the day go smoothly. Watch them at it on Schools Challenge TV. Click on the link on the screen for more. We are back next week, and if you are watching this on YouTube, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button that's somewhere around the outside of the screen, or if I can be bothered, I'll put it on the screen, or go to our webpage, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or scroll down somewhere on the right-hand side of the page. You will see the constant contact box. Pop your email address into that, and we'll contact you about our programme that's out 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday. This has been Field Sports Britain.